Our next guest presented its future mobility strategy and showcased its expertise in fuel cell technology and more at the Shift Mobility Convention, which was, of course, part of IFA 2020. The Senior Manager for Product and Advanced Powertrain, now there's a title for you that I like, with Hyundai Motor North America, is Derek Joyce. Derek, welcome into tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure. Hyundai has been doing a lot of cool things and introducing new vehicles and new technologies. And of course, it drew a lot of excitement during IFA in Berlin. And like us, as an American, you weren't allowed to actually be there in person either, but your counterparts there were able to really show some exciting things and focus on the development of eco-focused vehicles. First, tell us what that is and then what was shown.
Well, eco-focused vehicles are vehicles that are all about reducing emissions, right, and reducing the United States' dependence on foreign oil. Vehicles that are for the future, right? Cleaner environment for everyone, and sustainability is a big factor of that. So Hyundai has been a leader in this area for quite some time. We began our hydrogen fuel cell R&D research about 20 years ago.
Wow.
So that's quite a while. Yeah. So we are definitely one of the leaders in fuel cell technology and also in battery electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and plug-in hybrid vehicles. We have a nice offering for our customers in the U.S., very attractive vehicles that offer low and zero emissions.
Well, I was going to say that I had heard that Hyundai had been doing a lot of this research long ago. I never knew it's been for 20 years already at the forefront when others are barely catching up now. So that says a lot about the research and development with your company that said, they saw the writing on the wall, they saw the need for these eco-friendly vehicles and said, we've got to jump on this. And obviously you did.
Right. Yeah, we really have been committed to eco solutions. And one of the things about Hyundai is we have a full spectrum eco approach. So, as you know, you have your friends and family, and some are early adopters for eco solutions, for zero emissions. And some are people who are wading into the water slowly, and that's fine. People are people. They have different priorities in their life and different perspectives. And our goal at Hyundai is to offer a solution for every consumer of a Hyundai product. So at the least committed level would be a hybrid customer. That would be a person who buys a vehicle, basically a low emissions, very high mileage vehicle. That's what hybrids are. They take very little to adopt your lifestyle to a hybrid. So we have our hybrid offerings in the Sonata and the Ioniq models. And they're, like I said, you buy them, you drive them. They're basically a super efficient vehicle. You don't need to do anything to change your lifestyle whatsoever.
That's true. You're already used to putting gas in a car. You just apparently have to put less gas because you also have the option for electric. And I'm curious, Derek, how many people do you find are saying that they're using more of the electric or more of the gas in a hybrid vehicle? Or is it sort of a 50-50 kind of thing?
So what you've moved into is the next category, which is plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Okay, so hybrid vehicles generate their own electricity from driving. So they replenish their electricity as you're moving and as you use your regenerative braking system. So again, that's part of your whole lifestyle of driving and how you use the accelerator and brake. And a lot of our vehicles will have a eco driving coach on board with the audio visual system, and that coaches you on how efficient you're driving. Very, very good instantaneous real-time feedback to help you drive very efficiently. So that's a big part of what improves your mileage besides the technology. The plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, which you just alluded to, that's the next step in commitment for an eco buyer. That's the next step. What happens there is it's a hybrid vehicle with the enhancement of the ability to plug in at night or at your place of business. So you plug in and you're able to get, typically a lot of our vehicles around 25 miles of what they call AEV, or all electric range, all electric range. So what that means is you've plugged into the electric grid overnight or at work or wherever. You've replenished your battery, and you can drive zero emissions for 25 miles. Well, for a lot of people, if you're driving 5 days a week to work, you might have a commute that's 20 miles. You're emitting zero emissions that whole time. because you're using only emissions generated from the electric grid, and you're not using your gasoline engine on board. So that's the next level of commitment in eco solutions.
That's pretty cool. And of course, if you can then charge while at work, as you mentioned, then to and from, it's zero emissions, and you got to feel good about that. And hopefully you're saving money on gas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the great thing about that level is, so let's say people have vacations and things they want to do, right? They want to go to Las Vegas or wherever you may live. There's always a Las Vegas wherever anybody lives, someplace they want to get to.
Yeah.
Well, with a plug-in electric vehicle, you say, okay, I plug in, you get your 25 miles of, I call it free mileage, or basically zero emissions mileage. And then immediately the gasoline engine will kick in, and you can go unlimited range with gasoline. So your lifestyle isn't compromised in any way. You could still get to anywhere you want to go. You can go on vacation across the country, no problem. So plug-in hybrid electric vehicles are really a nice sweet spot for people to really have a good impact on the economy and the environment, but with minimal sacrifice to their lifestyle.
Yeah. So you mentioned the transition maybe to hybrid, but certainly the plug-in hybrid is that next level that folks can either just jump to right away or get more comfortable with as they're realizing how it works. And I think that's pretty cool. Tell me about Hyundai's Performance N brand. What is that about?
Yeah, so the N brand, now this is the other side of the spectrum. This is for driving enthusiasts and people with passion for driving and enjoyment. It really is a true performance brand where we are investing considerable money to make very exciting, enjoyable track day type vehicles that can sustain track use for, without overheating in any way. Most vehicles, if you take them to a track event or track weekend, you're going to cause problems with the vehicle, overheating or transmission, brakes, etc. These vehicles are engineered to be sustainable at the track, and so that's part of the N brand. You can drive it all day, all week, no problem. It's a nice commuter vehicle, etc. But also has considerable performance for people like to do autocrosses on the weekends. Really enjoy driving. Really enjoy going into the mountains. Maybe drive the twisties. So these are people who are not quite as concerned about the saving fuel, although they're all very efficient vehicles for the performance level. But they're a little more passionate about vehicles. And Hyundai realizes that there's buyers from every spectrum, right? So you've got people who are very committed to eco solutions and people who love to drive. And so we want to meet all of these different needs in terms of passenger volume, cargo volume, and the type of powertrain that is going to meet their lifestyle.
And it sounds like Hyundai is doing just that, so certainly keep up that good work. One of the other things that I know got a lot of attention at IFA in Berlin, at IFA Next in particular, was Nexo, the world's first dedicated hydrogen-powered SUV, which is certainly getting a lot of attention. A lot more people, it seems. My last 3 or 4 vehicles were SUVs. I just decided I wanted a little bit of height. I didn't want to be down at road level, and I wanted to be able to see over some cars, perhaps. And SUVs have been my go-to vehicle, my last several, and I would imagine my next several as well. So now when you talk about a dedicated hydrogen-powered SUV, I'm wondering how that got so much attention.
Well, you hit on it. Many important points about the Nexo. So that is our hero eco vehicle, okay? Hydrogen electric vehicles. They're electric vehicles with electric motors on board that generate their power real time on demand. So they don't store all of their electricity. They make it on board via a power plant on board. They take hydrogen, and through a process of electrolysis, they create that electricity real time on demand as you need it. So when you push the pedal, you're going to start that process and you're going to generate electricity that's going to go into an electric motor and go down the road. They have tremendous range. Our Nexo SUV has a range of zero emissions range of 380 miles.
Wow.
So it's a great solution in that you've got the flexibility to live your life pretty conveniently. Another benefit of the hydrogen electric vehicles is the refueling speed. So it's very comparable to gasoline refueling speed. So when you go to a station that has both hydrogen pickup and gasoline, you're going to be able to refuel in about the same time as gasoline. It's around 5 minutes or so. So very quick, and yet you have this great energy density, which means that you're going to be able to have a long range. So it's a great solution. We have 42 stations in California, and we've got a lot of Nexos on the road enjoying that. So that's a very committed eco lifestyle. What we like to talk about Hyundai is we are the only hydrogen fuel cell SUV in the U.S. Okay, yes, there are competitors that make fine products, but they're sedans, and people want SUVs, just like you said. Families want SUVs, and so we are the only one. And the Nexo is really a very well-engineered product, very reliable, pleasant to drive, quiet, luxurious, etc. Looks really good. A lot of people really love the styling. So we're really, really proud of our Nexo. And again, it's at that other side of that eco spectrum.
Yeah, no doubt. And the long range is important because while there are, you mentioned, I think 34 hydrogen facilities, there's not that many even in California, let alone the rest of the country yet.
Right.
Do you expect to see that more are going to jump on that and start stocking hydrogen for you to be able to refuel? Or are there not enough car manufacturers like yourselves that are committed to it to warrant that at gas stations or hydrogen stations?
Right. This is a decades-long chicken and egg question. I would say the manufacturers are on board because our products are very, very good, and our competitors, Toyota and Honda, they make very fine products as well. So they're utterly reliable, convenient. They're nice to drive. I've driven them tons. There's really no problem with the product, the vehicles. Gotcha. They can meet a lot of consumers' needs. The stations are in two major hubs in Southern California and Northern California around the Bay Area. So those hubs are building. It's around 42 stations currently, and a lot more in development that are getting through all the permitting process. That's going to explode pretty quickly to 50, 60. And the state of California has considerable bonds and grants and promotion, legislative promotion of these hydrogen fuels. So you're going to see these stations grow. The most likely areas where hydrogen is going to grow are the ZEV states, zero emission states, those that are really focused on zero emissions and these types of solutions. And those are basically the West Coast and the Northeast Coast area. And so California is your first area. The next big growth area that you will see will be New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, this area. This will, because they've adopted the ZEV standard of zero emissions and require a certain amount of vehicles to be zero emissions. That will be the next big area of growth. There are some obstacles to that in terms of they have a lot of rules about their bridges and their tunnels, and so the industry is working very hard to meet those requirements.
And I'm assuming there's no real safety issue with hydrogen. Has that been a concern?
Hydrogen is very, very safe. These vehicles meet, we have on our website, HyundaiNews.com, we've got vehicles of the EPA crash test, and I'm sorry, not EPA, the NHTSA crash test. Yeah. And basically, the vehicle completely safe for the most stringent government crash test. You can see them live online. Good. And the vehicle has huge crumple zones, is able to protect the tank areas. The tanks are so strong. What happens in a crash, even a very severe crash, what happens is the tanks are so robust that the whole area around it crushes before it gets to the tank. Good. So, it just absorbs all that energy. It really can't get to that area where it has that kind of ability. So they meet all of the same crash requirements as a gasoline vehicle. Gasoline has considerable energy too. So although we're used to gasoline, gasoline is a volatile. It has a lot of energy in it. Sure. And we've built modern cars are very safe. You're able to drive a gasoline vehicle with very little concern about its safety because of how safe they are. And the same is true for hydrogen. They meet all of the federal requirements very easily.
Very good. It just sounds like it's going to be a while before those of us, say, here in Miami, I don't even know of a hydrogen station. So it'd be like, wow, I'd like to try that SUV, but I could probably only drive as far as the full tank gives me, and then right. I'm in trouble. So is there a hybrid gas and hydrogen scenario or not?
Well, there is. It's not from Hyundai. It's not from Hyundai. There is another manufacturer that has a hydrogen plug-in. Okay. So what that would do, that would be similar to your plug-in hybrid electric vehicle where your hydrogen range is enhanced with a plug-in of a moderate-sized battery on board, which means, let's say you took a longer trip, you use your hydrogen first, and then if there's not a station where you went in particular, you would plug in and keep going. And so that is one solution. The Hyundai product doesn't have that. That's more complex, more costly. Every time you add a system, it adds a little more complexity. But definitely that technology is available in the industry. and it just currently hasn't met widespread use.
Terrific. And one last question for you, Derek. My producer had a note. What do some people not know about Hyundai? It sounds like you had something you wanted to share with us there at the end.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing for Hyundai is, we have had massive increases in our quality in the last 20 years. Really incredible levels. If you did your own research into the J.D. Bauer scores over the last 10 to 20 years, I would invite anybody, if they were interested, to take a look at that. You would see a very steep curve. And our products consistently the last 10 years have been very near the top of J.D. Power quality studies consistently for years. And a lot of people don't know that. They might have had initial impressions of Hyundai. Hyundai came into the U.S. in 1985, and it is a different company. I mean, the quality of our modern cars is really, really good, very reliable cars, and just really nice to drive. So I think some people might not be aware of that, and it's really true. And again, it's verified by independent data, J.D. Power, which is one of the biggest quality assessments in the industry.
Well, congrats to you guys. Keep making the cool vehicles and keep doing the hybrids and the plug-ins and the things that folks are looking for these days, and we'll keep talking about them. I would look forward to getting you back on the show again soon, because there is that much more to talk about. And of course, Hyundai always coming out with new products to discuss. Senior Manager for Product and Advanced Powertrain. Love that title. It's on your business card, right? For Hyundai Motor North America. And HyundaiUSA.com is the website you want to visit. We'll get you there. You'll be a mouse click away when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. But HyundaiUSA.com for more about what Derek and his team are up to. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us, Derek.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the opportunity, and have a great day.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. And of course, we've got more IFA 2020 coverage coming to you right on Into Tomorrow and right here on the Advanced Media Network. Stay tuned.